There's Mary Burns. Thank goodness you're there.
I've got two pictures up there. One of them is my Android phone.
It's good to see you there. I just was looking to make sure that I had sent you the invitation, and I don't see where I did.
Well, you know, Hank just sent. Hank, are you Hank?
Yeah, I'm Hank.
Yeah, you just sent it to me.
Okay.
I got it. Thank you. How is everybody?
Oh, it's fine. Now that you're here. I was
Be
trying to
terrible.
figure out, I was trying to figure out how I was going to wing it for half an hour.
You know, Hank, if anyone could do it, you could.
Yeah, I've stood up in front of a lot of people not knowing what I was doing. I did.
The joy of being an instructor.
Hi, Mary. I am
Hi,
looking
Marty.
forward to hearing your talk.
Oh, good. Do you have an Android?
Well, what is an Android? I don't know.
It is a smartphone that is not an iPhone.
Oh, I have an iPhone.
Okay. Some of the things might work, but it won't work exactly because this is more for the Android.
Okay.
Do you know much about your iPhone?
No.
You know,
not
I
much.
do teach a class through the college, and it's free, and it will start up again in the fall. And we have a 4-week session just on the iPhone, iPad, if you're interested.
So maybe that would be useful.
Yeah, if you're interested.
I've had it for maybe 2 years, so it's working.
It's working, yeah. Well, you know, there's so many things to know about it. And most people just know enough to sort of make their phone calls and their texts and their pictures and, you know, and everything. So my class goes into a little more detail about some of the other things you can do. Some
Right.
students like it. Some students get overwhelmed by all the things that you can do with it. And I feel the same way. Hello, Saul.
Hello. Getting settled here.
Okay. So Hank, how many people do you expect?
We usually have somewhere between 18 and 21.
Oh, nice big group. And you start off with a meeting and then you have the presentation, correct?
No, we start off with well, we start off with what we're doing now, which is just getting everybody here and
Okay.
getting a co-host designated. And
Oh, did you make me a co-host? Because I'm going to be sharing a screen.
You'll be able to share your screen.
All right,
share
thank
your
you.
screen without being a co-host. Sol is the
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll have to, but I might have to share my screen on my Android too. That's that little picture of me. So I need two different devices, but I'm going to try to do it without sharing that because that always runs into trouble when I try to do that.
Well, you can't do both at once, but you can.
No, I switch
able to-
back and forth and I'll say, oh, let's check it on the Android. And then there's like a 10-minute problem that pops up that I'm trying to get through before I can get to my class. So if I have to, I've got it here and it's ready to go, but hopefully we'll be able to get by without it. I have lots of screenshots.
One of our members, David McCall, said there's a app called AirDroid, I think, which allows you to put the screen of your phone on your computer screen and share it. So
Oh,
you
that's
might look into that.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder if in Zoom, yeah, I could show the screen. That might be a little AirDroid. That might be a little bit more convenient than sharing the screen. I mean, sometimes it works and I can share the screen of my Android on the computer on the Zoom. So, but
Yeah, then it's just another window on your computer. And so you
Yeah.
just share that window.
yeah, that might be good.
Mhm.
And there's David there. Is it David that was telling you about it?
Yes. Mhm.
We're just talking about you, David.
Oh, goodness, that's why my earmuffs were burning here.
Yes. He was talking about AirDroid.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I have that, ready to show it anytime if you'd like.
Okay, and that's an app for your Android device?
It's an app on the Android device and a matching program on your computer. So you
Okay.
can cast to the computer. And if you pay them a little bit of money, you can actually then run your phone off of the image on the computer.
Oh, I'm gonna have to research that. That sounds like it might be helpful though for what I do.
We have people here that have all sorts of knowledge that they are happy to share with others.
Yes, well, I like it when people share their knowledge with me. That's how you learn, I find. You can't learn, you don't know everything. So Dan, you have your hand up?
Any Saturday morning, you can find us here. Yeah, Dan, speak up. You're muted.
Yes, I don't see a closed caption on my selection this morning.
I think we
Because
can
nobody's
enable
asked me
that.
to do that yet. There we have. Now we have.
All right, is it showing up? I have mine to hide it. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, thank you, Dan. So Will's here. Will
Hi,
was
Mary.
able to, hello, he was able to successfully register with the college. You know, I
Cool.
love what I do. I love teaching these classes. I love offering all these options, but getting people registered is the hardest thing about my job. And I think Will would agree to that.
Well, Mary is good enough to give us some cheat sheets to walk us through how to register. I'll tell you that website, trying to get through there completely is a minefield.
We've been complaining about it for years and they haven't been able to help us out too much, but
I don't know who designed that, but they have
I
a
have-
bit of the devil in them.
And I had my own version of that because I am employed by the community college district, but I'm on break for the summer. They turn off my account.
oh,
And then when I go to try to register, it says, go to your account. I go to my account, it says it's locked.
well, I think you can call student services.
And after 2 or 3 interactions with them, they set up a student as opposed to an employee one. And so I think I'm on your list for this coming Wednesday.
Okay, I can check it if you want, but I noticed I did get some more people. Thank you very much. Yeah, I have 2 portals. I have the student and the employee one as well. So it's a good thing to have. And then it's easy once you, and if you're, what do you do for the college?
I tutor I'm in their tutoring center, and I tutor the students in math and physics and chemistry.
Oh my
Basically,
gosh.
All of those courses that tend to terrify the students.
Well, good for you if you know the answers to them. Do you get stumped ever?
I've been doing this now for probably about 8 years, so most of the questions I have seen before. Although the fun thing is with the other tutors, they always say, "Oh, did you see this neat new thing over here?" Or, "Yeah, I saw this thing on this YouTube thing. Look at that thing." And so it's a lot of fun to see all the different places people go.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good job.
And how do you interact with them? Is it like Zoom?
For the first 5 or so years, we would go to the tutoring center and they would come in and we would sit down at tables and have whiteboards. Then we did COVID and we haven't quite recovered from that. So we're doing a lot of it with Zoom. I have on my thing a drawing tablet so that I just share that on Zoom so that I can then basically draw with it with a stylus and just like it's a whiteboard. Unfortunately, what that means is I tend to do more of the drawing and they don't do as much because they don't have the setup on their side. So before we would always try to have them, okay, show me how you're going to do this. If they can't draw, or that's just a painful thing to do. If you've ever tried signing your name with a mouse.
Oh, gee.
Yes. DocuSign.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I'm getting not so bad with my finger on the little cash register things now, but it's the sort of thing that, okay, fine, we're trying to reduce the frustration. So let's just, tell me what you want me to write and I'll write it down.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of what the things I get when I teach these phone classes, is that when we were in person, I could see their phone. When I'm online, they have to be doing on theirs, and then they'll run into problems, and it's hard for me to see their phone. I can't see their phone. And a lot of the students, I mean, if they would share their screen, that would be fine, but a lot of students have difficulty doing that. So, it's a challenge. I do prefer online though, because I think people get a better view of what the class is. It's right in front of them.
Yeah, and they're not straining to see something on something that's far away, or you don't have 8 people, hovering around one little tiny screen.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus the technical issues that you experience when you're in a public place. I know the schools, the colleges are very good, but we were off campus, and that was always challenging. Okay, well, Hank, should we get started, or?
No, I'm gonna wait another couple of minutes.
Oh,
We're
okay.
we're still getting people
All right. That
showing
sounds
up.
good.
If I may get my first Saturday announcement, that our second Saturday meeting will be our board meeting and discussion Q&A following the board meeting. So this is just a reminder to all of you who might join us next week that we'll be having our SCG board meeting, followed by our usual discussion, and our guests are always welcome at our board meetings. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Good attendance today and early.
I did a welfare check on Sammy Olnick. She has not been on here for several weeks, and so I talked to her. She said she's having some medical problems, and sorry that she's not able to join us.
I wanted to say hi, Stan, and hi, Derek.
Yes, I welcome Derek to our group. And Marty's been here before. Good to see you both. These are walkabout friends. Thank you.
Oh. I can see a couple of familiar faces. Eileen, nice to see you, Eileen. And Pat, you're here. Nice to see you.
We're up to 22, so another minute or so, and I'll turn it over to Mary.
Okay.
But we sometimes get people who join at 10:35. Yep, there we go. There's 23 now. So we're still getting new people.
Yes, it takes a while to connect sometimes. Start video.
And Betty, I see we've been corresponding, haven't we? You're on mute.
And I'll mute everyone just before I turn it over to Mary, and you'll have to unmute yourself, Mary, after I mute everybody.
Okay, I can do that.
Hank and Mary, if it's okay, I was just going to share my screen briefly, and you can see what the AirDroid looks like.
Yes, can we do that?
Sure, go ahead.
So basically, this is just a window that looks at my thing. So on my phone, I can just roll up and down on my phone, and I can see things. I can go from one set of screens to the other. I can, see what, and then here's the AirDroid cast itself. I've been casting for that lunch. Up top here, that's the name of the computer I'm casting to. That's the screen that you're looking at. But just whatever I do on my phone shows up on the screen like that.
Now, okay, so I have let's say I have a presentation, Can I show that PDF presentation alongside with the Android?
Did I miss something? Did you
Uh,
give an
Do
intro?
you see our window and that
Yes,
screen
I
at the same
do.
time?
Yes, I did.
Because I shared my whole screen and I get to
Yeah.
see all the windows on my screen.
Yes, yes. So I could minimize the Zoom screen and show a PDF form and,
Yeah,
and
so I can
oh,
minimize the Zoom.
perfect. You know, that would solve so many problems. Yeah.
Okay.
So just
So
open up
anyway.
just maybe just a web browser and let's just
It's
see what
called
that-
AirDroid.
AirDroid.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to look into that because that would make my job a whole lot easier.
Yeah. And the other sort of thing, you know, just like sharing screens for doing computer debugging, sharing a phone screen for phone debugging would make things so much easier if you could see the student's phone.
Yes.
Now then, getting them to that point is probably more than they are. If they're having the kind of problems that the newbies tend to have are the kind of problems that are more setting this up, but just to know that it's there.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, if I could just train some people to share their screen, that would help, but it's very challenging to figure these things out for a lot of people, for me. Thank you, David. I'm going to
Everybody,
definitely
we
look into
have
that.
25 participants. That's a record. It's 10:06 on my watch. I'm now muting everybody. And Mary, if you would please unmute yourself, and it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you, Hank. I'm really excited to be here with you guys. I think it was Will had sent me a note asking about my availability and what I would teach. And I sent back some ideas and he said the Android one might be nice. And I kind of like that because I'm starting an Android class on Monday. And so, if you are interested in taking a 3-week class on Android and you're kind of new to it, it might be a good thing to do. But today's class isn't a basics class. It's more 10 things you could do with your Android. So some of these things you'll probably know. Some of these things you may not know. So I am going to share my screen and we're going to look at that and find out 10 things we can do. Let me just get this set up here. Slideshow, and then from the beginning. All right, so as I said, this is 10 things you could do with your Android. You're all seeing my screen, yes. Okay, so let's start off and talk about what those 10 things are. So adding emergency contacts to your Android, putting a message on your locked screen, enabling your phone to be found, taking a screenshot, going into your Chrome browser and tweaking some of the settings, figuring out how to smart lock your phone so it will unlock when you're at home, but will stay locked when you're not. Understand what that status bar means on the top of your phone. Saving a website to your phone using Google Chrome again, which is the web browser that is the default one that comes with most Androids. Transferring, well, I think I changed number 9. So, because I was having a little bit of an issue with that. So there's a different one for number 9, but I can't tell you what it is. It has something to do with that. And then the last one is scanning a QR code. So let's begin with number 1. And number 1 is adding information for EMTs. So I think you're all aware that one of the beauties of having a smartphone is that if something were to happen and you were to pass out, emergency rescue people can use your phone to find emergency contacts. You can also call for help immediately. If maybe you're in an emergency and you're being followed, you can do that as well. So this is an important thing to know. So what we're going to be talking about is adding some information to your phone's lock screen that will be important to the EMTs. And you might already be aware that when your phone is locked and you swipe up from it, you can enable an emergency call, and you can also get to medical information. So the screen that you're seeing here on the right is how one Android looks when you're on that emergency call page. So even if you don't have a cellular phone, you can still make an emergency call. by pressing 911. So my Android is not connected to any internet service provider, but I could click on that and it will connect to 911. The providers will also see my 2 emergency contacts here. So they could actually, I could click on them to get to them, or they could click on them to get to them. And then down here is medical information. So these are all the things you can see from a locked screen. Notice you can't see any files and you can't get into it, but you would be able to get to emergency. You'd be able to see the medical information and more. So the way we're going to do this, and as I teach this class, I would like you to go through this with your phone if you're not familiar with this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to settings on your phone. And then you're going to go to, it might be in some different places. It might be in, you might have a category called safety and emergency under settings. That's what I actually have in my newer phone. In my older phone, I have to go to about phone. And from there, I can find, no, I can't. Okay, let's go. Let's stick with the emergency information. So when so again, I tell you sometimes things, okay, so settings, go to settings, go to safety and emergency. This would be if you have the 12 version of Android set up. Does anybody not have safety and emergency under settings?
I do not.
You do not. And what version software do you have?
Darned if I know.
Okay, I can teach you how to tell what version you have.
Wait a minute. Check for updates. I've got software update. That ought to tell me, right?
That will tell you.
It says I'm all set, but it doesn't say what version.
Okay, how about going to about phone?
Event.
Okay, so settings about phone, and then you might see software information. And then you would be able to see Android version. So the version 9 is going to be different than version 12. And those are the only 2 that I have in front of me.
I
So-
don't see any of
My
them.
old phone's a version 6.
Yours is a version 6, okay?
And
So-
I have a version 11.
Okay, all right, so here we go.
I have
So-
biometrics and security.
Well, you must have a newer model then if you have biometric. What version do you have? Does it say?
No. I
No,
don't-
okay.
Where do I look to find?
Go to about phone, so go to settings. And then go down to about phone, that's below software update. Can you see about phone?
No, but I'm looking.
Okay, it's in settings. It's the very last one in settings.
Oh, yeah, there we go. About phone.
Okay, so if you tap on that, and then you tap on software information.
Nope.
I have
No.
version 8.1.
Okay, so again, the thing with our Androids is they won't automatically update. It's not like Apple that updates each time. So on my Samsung phone, the best I'm gonna get is 9. On my Google Pixel, I can get 12. So it depends on the phone you have in order to tell you what, in order to provide what operating system you get. And you can see that this gets very confusing. Fran, did you have a question?
Yeah, so I have version 10, and when I just an FYI for people out there, when I go to about phone, that's where my emergency information is under info
Okay.
and contacts.
Okay, and that's what I had written down, but it's not on my version 9. Yours is on the version 10, huh?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all right. Is it, so did you find your emergency contacts in?
Yeah, it's like the third one down, device name, phone number, and then emergency information. And if you click on that, info and contacts.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's not on this version, but who else is having trouble finding this?
I am too. I can get to a screen called Site Settings. But then I can't seem to get any further.
Well, it wouldn't be, I don't think it would be site settings. So you want to go back to just your regular settings. Do you know how to get to your regular settings?
No.
Okay, if you go to your home screen,
Okay.
you're looking for it looks like a cog wheel. Let me share my screen with this one. Let me share
Share
my,
your phone screen.
yes, that's what I'm gonna do.
Screen
Okay,
share.
I need to stop this one. And we'll look on this one to find it. I want to make sure everybody can find it. Okay. All right, so we're looking for settings, and down in the lower left-hand corner, you can see a little cogwheel. That's settings. So if you tap on that, you can actually get to your settings. Now, what we're looking for, and I still haven't quite found this yet, but what we're looking for is the emergency mode. And this is the 9 version. So we already know that the 12 version we're going to be able to find by going to settings and safety emergency. We know the 10 version we're able to find by going to about phone. And then you said you could see emergency information. That
Now,
would
here
be.
we are. You've gone to about phone and now you're,
Uh-huh.
I am, but whoops, back up one.
Okay.
When you first get to about phone, no, you're still, you need to go back one.
Right now, it's showing settings on the screen. It's showing settings and about phone. Do you want me to tap on about phone?
Yeah, if you tap on about phone,
Okay.
then wait a minute. You see that you have software information. Isn't that where you will find your version?
Well, yeah, that's where we find your version. We were looking for the safety thing, but yes, let's review that. So tap on software information and you can see Android version 9. So this is as high as the Samsung's going to get, is 9.
Okay, now you see there's 3 versions on here. There's UI version, there's Android version, and there's Knox version. What are you looking for?
Android version.
Which is what? The version of your software in your phone?
That is a version of the software on your phone. And that is what so everyone that has version 9 would have primarily the same settings.
Okay.
Some phones might be a little bit different, but primarily the same. Now, if you have a Pixel, like my other device, that's version 12. And so that's going to mean that my settings are going to be different on that phone. When I prepared this lesson, I was using my 12, my Pixel, but some of these things are not found where they are on that Pixel, on that version 12. So what we're looking for here, most people here now know how to find their software version. Is that correct?
Yeah, mine's 11.
Okay.
Does that mean something?
It does mean something, because when I'm going through my different settings, someone will say, well, hey, look, I don't have settings, safety and emergency. And that's because you don't have version 12. That's where they put it on version 12. Version 10, it looks like version 10, they put it under what? Software emergent or under about phone? Who has a version 10?
I did, and they just put it under about phone.
Okay, so version 10, you'll find it in about phone. Now I tried to find the emergency. Let's see. So we're still looking for 9. I don't think it would be Google. Let me check and make sure though, because there is something on there. Nope, it's not that. Okay. Does anyone else have version 9?
I have version 11.
Okay, version 11, you should be able to get to settings and safety and emergency. Do you have that on yours?
Okay, if you go,
No, I don't see that. I see,
Under settings,
Which version?
I have version 11 and it's
Okay.
under emergency and about phones, and it's emergency information.
okay, so version 11 still has it under about phone and then emergency information.
Correct. The third
Mine
item
does.
down from the top.
I'm at 11 and that doesn't work.
I've got 12.
You have 12. With 12, it should be settings, safety,
under
and
about-
emergency.
Yeah, it's under about phone.
With 12 on yours, it's under about phone? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, you can see why this is such a challenging class to teach. Because not only are the operating systems different, but the phones are different. So it looks like the Pixel has its own area for safety and emergency, but other version 12s, what kind of phone do you have that's a version 12?
Let me see. I have a Moto G Stylish.
Okay, all right, so then that's going to be a little bit different. So as you can see, it's all a little bit different. But I still haven't found the emergency on here. Let me see. Okay, and if I can't, we'll just have to go with another version. Anyone else that has 9? Have you found it yet?
I have 11 on a Samsung A10, and I still haven't found the emergency stuff.
Okay,
Yeah, I haven't either.
Same here.
on
okay.
11.
So, and you don't have settings, safety, and emergency.
I
Nope.
found-
No, I
Okay,
have
and you
I have settings, and I found at one point I found biometrics and security.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if that's it.
Yeah, I've looked in there and it doesn't, it's not there.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
my 12, with my,
It's not there either.
No, okay.
with my 12, I found safety and emergency.
Where'd you find it?
It's just listed under settings.
Okay, so that's 12, and that's the
That's
best
12.
way. That makes the most sense. But right now, we're trying to find what some of these other versions where it is, and
A lot of us have 11 and none of us have been able to find safety and security going to either by about phone or anything else. Far.
okay.
So Dan has his hand up.
Dan,
Yes, I have version 5.1.1. I have an old phone and I'm using a track phone, so.
okay, well then in that case, I don't know if you're gonna get the same possibilities.
No, they won't let me update it, so
No.
that's one of the things that's going on.
Notifications, no, not there. Display. Screen time, home screen. No, not that. Okay.
David has his hand up.
David?
Version, apparently it's been,
Say it again. You're on freeze.
So David, you're frozen and we're not hearing you.
Send SOS messages. Okay, let's try this. If you have the Windows or the Android 9 or maybe 11, under settings, I think that we did digital well-being, or maybe, no. We
No, I
did
think you did
advanced features.
Advanced features.
Advanced features, and send SOS messages, that's on. There you go. There you go. Okay, boy, that is confusing. Okay, so do you all have, you people that have not yet found it and you're not able to access from about phone, or you also don't have safety and emergency, do you have advanced features?
Yes.
Yes.
I found it in
Okay.
11.
All right, let's tap on that. And then let's tap on direct or send SOS messages.
Don't have that. Oh, yes, you do. Down further. Okay.
Okay, yep. And on that, it says who to send messages to. If I tap on who I'm sending messages to, I can add or delete people from there. So if I want to add somebody as an emergency contact, I would tap on add, and then I can select it from my contacts. And so I can just do my sister here, and I'm going to select her. Okay, so now I've got my sister as an emergency contact. I'm going to say done. And so now I've got 3 people. So if I were an emergency, all 3 of these people would be notified. Okay, let's go back. And do we want to, in SOS, do we want to be able to send pictures? Imagine that, you know, you're in an accident or you're in an emergency. I think being able to show pictures is probably going to be helpful. And so is attach audio recording. So if I were you, I would have at least 2 or 3 people on the messages, click attach pictures, and click attach audio recordings, and make sure that's on. And look at the instructions here. For this version of the phone, you'll press the power key. That's the one that you turn it off or on with on the side 3 times to send a quick alert to your emergency contacts when you're in an emergency situation. So you could even be anywhere in your phone, hit the power key 3 times, but do it, make sure you know what you're doing, because what it's going to do is it's going to send messages to all of your emergency contacts saying that you're having an emergency. Okay.
How about 911? Will it call that?
Well, I don't know if it'll call that or not. This is an SOS message. Remember, you can get to 911 from your locked screen by swiping up, and then you would be on the emergency call page, and then you can click 911 there. Hopefully you'll never have to use it, but knowing that these things exist are important. So that did it on this phone. Now, for those of you that have version 12, or the one that has safety and emergency, that one is a little bit better because that one is lined up a little bit more. And I should probably connect to Zoom on this one too and show you this. So let's see, join you, let's see. Okay. And join, and let me get your number. Do you know your number off the top of the your head? 81. Your room number. Let's see, your Zoom number. Let me see. Let's see, here we go. I got it. Okay. 882-1849-5746. Okay, and then join. And then 074945. Oh, 74945. Okay. Okay, all right, so I'm going to show you the other screen. We're going to stop sharing. Okay, and share. Okay. Okay, and while we're waiting, let's see, here we go. There, and
Be concerned if I was in an accident and unresponsive, that the person that found my phone wouldn't know how to operate it.
well, that's the thing. But now you probably know that you could pick up anyone's screen or anyone's phone, and you can, even if it's locked, and you can swipe up and you can see that information. Practice with your phone. Practice with your phone. Try turning it off, and then don't let it see you. If it does a facial thing, don't let it see you, and see if you can open it. Okay, and here we go. So this is the newer version. This is the version 12, and this is the one that the instructions were for, and this is the simplest one. So for those of you that have version 12 and want to set this up on your phone, again, you're going to go to settings, and you can see settings again. It's that little circle, the cogwheel it's called. Going to tap on that to open it. And then we're going to go to safety and emergency. So when you scroll down, it's going to be way down there, safety and emergency. And this is a way they should all be organized, because this is easy to figure out. So there's safety and emergency, and it's got everything on there, but let's open up personal safety and see what sort of things we can do. Now, I've already set it up, but if you haven't set it up, you're going to be walked through the process. You're going to set up some emergency contacts. You're going to include your medical information, and then you can do more with it. So this is showing us now the safety check. So you can turn that on, and the safety check is if you're out walking for an hour and you turn that on. I've never done this, by the way, but you can set it up, and Pixel will know that it's emergency if you don't come back in an hour. I wouldn't recommend this unless it's something that is important to you, but you would go next. And then here, if you don't respond at the time of your safety check, so what will happen then is these guys will be notified, and they will respond. I don't know if I turn that on or not, but that's one of the options you have with the version 12. You also have emergency sharing with version 12. And so in this case, you can automatically say, okay, I'm going to tap on Bobby and I want to share my real-time location with him, and he would be able to see that. So I would hit share. So let's say maybe I'm going for a walk, and let's say I'm going by myself and I'm not sure where I'm going. I would share with someone that's there with me, and then if something happened, they would be able to help me out, so they would know where I am. So that's another possibility. But everything has been set up with your safety settings. By the way, I just clicked on the settings, and I can see that my emergency SOS is enabled. It's explaining how to get to my emergency SOS. So I would hit the power button 5 times. I would also have an alarm, a countdown alarm, to show me that that's starting up. I've established 911 as my emergency number. If you have a different number, you can set that up. I've enabled share information with emergency contact, and I've enabled record emergency video. So while in the last one, it was done in a different way, and this one, it's being done under emergency SOS, which actually, I guess when we get down to it, is where we were on the older version as well. Okay, and go ahead.
There's only one problem. There's no safety and emergency under settings.
No, you have the older version, correct?
11.
Yeah, so with 11, I think what we discovered was 11 was in settings, and it was under advanced features. I can't show you the screen because I'm showing you this one. Advanced features, and tap on that. And then you wanted to send SOS messages. So with version 11, you're going to advanced features, and you're sending SOS messages. It's a little bit different.
Which is turned off.
Which is turned, we'll turn it on if you want to use it. It's a good idea to have that on. One more thing about this personal safety one is, if I go back to settings, each time I go, I'm just hitting the little cogwheel there. I also have medical information on mine. Now, I don't really want to show it with you. And by the way, I don't even carry this phone around, but on my iPhone, I do have some of these things on here. And that is because if I was in an emergency and I had my phone with me, the EMTs would know what kind of blood type I have, would know my allergies, would know my medications, and would know my address. And so that would be really helpful information. Now, like I said, I don't carry this phone around. It's for classes. But if this were my phone, I would have all of these things filled in. I could even do medical notes, and I can even say if I'm an organ donor. So all these we're seeing on the version 12. So each of the versions are a little bit different in the information you give them, but at the very least, you should have your emergency contacts. You should know how to summon emergency if you have your phone in your hand, hitting that power button 5 times. And you also should know how to find somebody else's information. And that's just by picking up their locked phone and swiping it up. And you should get to that emergency screen. All right, that took a lot of time, but I think we answered a lot of questions in the process on finding our different things in settings and knowing the version. So
Mary,
yes,
Mary, where did you find medical information?
on which version do you have?
11?
11. So on 11, I don't know that we found medical information. I don't think we had it on version 11. We had the SOS under advanced features.
Right.
We had the SOS, but I don't think that the version 11, couldn't find it, lets you provide medical information.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Fran, did you have a question or comment?
Is there a quick way we can check and see, like, if I'm on 10, can I update to the later versions that you're talking about?
Yes. I'm going to warn you that probably you cannot. But in order to do it, you would go to settings. You have 11, right?
10.
10. Okay, you would go to settings. And there we go. And then you would go down to, let's see if it's about phone and Android version. Okay, so on this one, you could see it's Android version 12. And if you tap on that, if it needs to be updated, you could tap on that and it will, I think it would tell you that it needs to be. Actually, I think there's also a update one as well.
So you're pretty much stuck with the one that you get when you buy it?
Yes.
On
It
my
could-
Apple,
it
okay.
might, now, for example, the Pixel is a Google product. So Google supports that. So if you get the Pixel, which is a fine product, a fine phone, but I'll tell you, it's got different setups and everything else. The advantage of that is that will go, I think that they will continue to update that one. But your
Okay.
Samsungs, they may or may not offer a whole number update. Usually whatever your whole number is, 8, 9, 10, 11, you'll stay in that number. You'll just get security updates for that
Okay.
number.
And another quick, I don't know, I was about this medical data and it's talking about contacts, and for us more paranoid people, it said that if you put any contacts in, anyone can dial that person with your phone being locked.
Yes, and you want it
So-
that way. You want it that way
Well,
because
you
what
want
if
that way for the EMTs, but do we want it for the general public?
well, how often when you're conscious and awake, how often is someone going to take your phone? And if they do take your phone and they do call one of your emergency contacts, you'll just call them back and you'll get somebody else's phone and say, my phone is missing and somebody's got it. And if you get
I
a
don't know. A lot of times, I still work, so I have it at, and you set it down at a table and you're off doing something. I can imagine a lot of times people would have access to it. So
well, if
I
you
guess it's not for me, but it may be for everybody else.
Exactly. You don't have to have it, but just even if it's not for you, just keep in mind that if you come up to someone with an Android phone and they're unconscious, you know how to get to emergency for that.
That part I like.
Yeah,
That is something I learned good today.
good. Then we can go home.
I
Jim,
learned something today. I learned.
good. Jim,
Yes, under version 12, under settings, down near the bottom of the list, third from the bottom, there's a software update.
okay, it's not on mine, but that's on yours. Okay, so if you see that on yours, it's not going to be on the phone we're looking at. But if you see that on yours, and that's how you can update your information. So you would look under settings and then update operating system. And I think that's true with the other ones as well, with the older versions. They do, the older versions do have a software update above About Phone. Okay, thank you for sharing that. And Will? You're on mute.
Will, do you still have a question?
Under software information, I see a thing that says SE for Android status. What does SE stand for?
Oh, now you're getting into things I don't know.
Okay,
They have all those models and everything. So About the Phone, SE,
Maybe safety and emergency.
well, I don't think so. Is it?
that's as good a guess as any.
Why don't you click on it, Will?
I did,
Tap on
and
it, see.
all it is just telling me what the status of that is. It says enforcing is all it says.
Is this under, oh, I see. That's security enhancements for Android status.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I see that on mine too. Yeah, there's all sorts of things when I ask people about their version, there's all sorts of things on that page that can confuse you. And the only thing that I ever really bring up is the Android version. That's important. But other than that, security software version. So you do want to make sure that it's got security enhancements and things. Okay. And Ross, you're on.
So on all these questions that people are having about their specific phones,
Mhm.
if they call 611 on their phone, it connects them to their cell phone provider. And you can ask for technical support there. And you can say, how do I update my phone? How do I do any of the other things that people are asking for? And they should be able to help you do those changes to your phone.
All right, very useful information. Yes. So and if you need help, you can call 611 and that will actually be your actual phone. You can also find things on YouTube and settings, but does 611 work on track phones? I don't know. Someone was asking that. Do you know, Ross, if that works on?
Well, there is a specific help feature within the track phone.
Okay.
But it is not I don't think it's 611. So again, there's a button on the front of the phone that says, do you need help?
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I have track phone and 611 does work, except you get in a big long line.
Well, you just need to do it at a time that it's not so busy.
Yeah.
You've got a discounted phone with a limited service, and that's what you're getting when you have that.
Thank you, Ross. That was very helpful to know that you can do 611. The track phones are confusing. All right, did we all figure out something? At the very least, we're able to put on emergency contacts. We were able to set up everything. I think the next screen that we're going to look at shows us a little bit more about what we just did. So this screen shows us a little bit more about how to set it up. And it's reminding us on most of our phones that you can set up, if you need emergency services, hit power 5 times or more. That will call emergency services, will share emergency with your emergency contacts and record a video. Now, realize that if you're playing around and you do that, it's going to actually follow through. So just be aware of that and don't do it unless it's an emergency, but it will work. And then we also were able to set up our emergency services, location sharing, and emergency video. So those are some of the things you could do with some of those Android phones, not all of them, but some of them you'd be able to do that. And then in order to find that information from a locked screen, swipe up and you'll see the screen on the left, and you can just do an emergency call there. And if you click on emergency call, you're going to see the screen on the right. And this is what's going to pop up. So you can just tap on 911. You could tap on your medical information, or the EMTs can, and they can get a direct link to your contacts. All right, did we get that issue? Any questions?
Yes, swiping up on mine does not bring up those screens. It
Is your
brings up-
phone unlocked? It has to be on, or it has to be locked. Your phone has to be locked. So you have to turn it off. And then before you turn it on, you swipe up. So you don't want it to see your face. If you have face recognition, you don't want to see that. And you also want to make sure that you do have a lock on your phone. Because if you don't have a lock on your phone, then you'll never get to the screen.
So it has to be locked or unlocked?
It has to be locked.
Locked.
Pretend like, yes. So
In
turn it
order-
off.
All the
And
way.
how do you turn it off? Press
No,
the
I
side
turn it all the
button.
way off. I know how to do that.
Okay.
Turn it all the way off.
Turn it
and-
all the way off, let it set for a couple seconds. And then when you turn it on, don't let it see you. Just notice that when you turn it on, you're gonna get this lock screen. And the lock screen will enable you, will be saying something like enter a PIN. But instead you can click on emergency call. All of your phones are different, as we know, all of your phones are different. But all of your phones, to my knowledge, will have this capability from a locked phone.
Question, why would I want to have a lock screen?
Because you don't want people getting into your phone. You
I
don't
got
want
my
people,
phone with me. Nobody's gonna get into it.
well, if you leave it down somewhere and somebody picks it up, they make it into it. A phone, I believe you should always use a lock for your phone. If it's an iPad, maybe not as important, except keep in mind that somebody could walk away with it and then they would have all your apps and everything. But your phone, definitely, you want to have a
So
passcode.
how do you lock it?
How do you, well, it isn't that you're locking it, you just have do you have a lock screen on yours?
I have no idea.
Okay, when you turn your phone off and you turn it back on, do you have to enter a code?
No,
Yes,
Okay,
I do.
you should be setting up a lock screen. Do you want me to demonstrate that?
Yes.
I would-
Okay,
So that's what it means when you have to enter a code. That means it is a locked screen.
exactly.
Got it. Thank you. I do have a locked screen. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
does everybody have a lock screen?
There are several kinds of things that can lock your phone. You can have it unlocked by your picture. You can have it unlocked by something that you draw on the screen. You can have it unlocked by typing in some numbers. You can have it
Fingerprints.
unlocked with your finger. So,
Right.
but all of those are a lock screen. To get through that, you have to do something. That's the lock screen.
Yes.
That sounds like a PIA.
It can even be facial recognition.
Yeah, facial recognition too. Yep, that's another method of unlocking a screen. That's why if you have facial recognition and you're trying to see that lock screen, you have to kind of put your face away from it so it doesn't see you, because it will keep opening because it sees your face. So you just have to hide your face.
Or
Okay, I
put your
have a
Halloween
lock-
mask on.
Yeah, I think you could set them up so they'll recognize you with the mask on, but I've never done it.
Okay, I have a locked screen. I swipe up and it still doesn't say emergency information.
When you swiped up, did it unlock it?
Yes,
Okay, then it was using, if it was a locked screen and you swiped it up, it was somehow capturing you as the person using it. I should not be able to pick up your phone and swipe it up and get into your phone. I should not be able to do that.
But
When
what
I
I'm
try to-
asking is where is the emergency when you swipe up?
Well, then if you are using your phone and you have an emergency, you will press the power button 5 times or more.
Okay.
If
Got it.
the phone is open, if it's unlocked. If it's locked, then a stranger can pick up your phone, swipe up and make an emergency call or see your contacts.
Okay.
Yeah, the swiping up on the lock screen is if you get someone else's phone and you want to call their emergency contacts.
Yes. Yes, and also if it's you that's unconscious, the EMTs all know how to do this. So they'll be able to easily, and it doesn't matter what kind of Android phone you have, they're going to figure it out. So just make sure you got something on there. At worst case scenario, just have some contacts on there that they can call.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, now we have the next thing has to do with the message on your lock screen. Now, while I thought it was really important to set it up for emergencies, having a message on your lock screen, it's something you may want to do or may not want to do. So but realize if you have a message on your lock screen, everyone will see it. So it's kind of a fine line. Do you want something in your lock screen? Perhaps you do. Maybe you want to have your name and I don't know, another contact number. So if someone finds the phone, they can call you. To be honest, I don't use this, but if you would like to, you can. Okay, so the way this is done is this is done through settings. So let's try to once again, see if you could find settings. And then depending on your phone, it would be either display. Actually, it would be display, lock screen, or add text to lock screen. Now I'm seeing on my version 9, it actually has a lock screen icon. So if I click on that, I can, first of all, I make sure that you have a screen lock. And then you can scroll up and see your lock screen. So then you can screen lock settings. Let's see. And then you need to have your PIN in order to change anything. You need to know your password. Okay, and that's not. Yeah, here it is. Contact information. So if you have the 9 and you're on the lock screen page, you can have contact information, and that's what you will be putting on your lock screen. Okay, do we have any questions on the 9? Do you want me to show this to you on the screen? Were you all able to find it, the lock screen?
Stan has his virtual hand raised.
Okay, Stan.
It's not really related, but is the term ICE for in case of emergency a valid flag for addresses in your phone book? At one time, I heard that if you put ICE in the information for your contact, that emergency responding people know to look for ICE in your contacts. Have you heard of that at all? Does anybody use that?
I have heard of that, but I'm not sure if that's still the case, because I'm not sure if you have to be in somebody's unlocked phone to see those. That being said, I remember when I did this emergency contact, some of the older versions were using in contacts, in Google Contacts, there is a category called groups, and there's another category called ICE. And if you have that, and that's, you can see that once we start teaching one subject, we have 10 more that pop up. But if in contacts you have groups and then you have ICE, then I believe in that case, it will open up automatically for your for the emergency medical people. Did that make sense?
Okay, well, yeah, but it seems simpler, less complicated, just to have the phrase ICE somewhere in your contact information, like in the second name or something like that, and to find it rather than putting it in a group or something like that,
well,
which adds another layer of complication.
Exactly. Well, the only problem with that is that they would have to be able to unlock your phone.
That's it.
Okay.
I understand that.
Yeah. So if your phone is unlocked, yeah, that's fine. But if you're unconscious, your phone's not going to be unlocked. So you want to make sure people can get to you without you opening up your phone for them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we have a couple more hands up. Will?
Yeah, I don't have a lock screen.
but I went to settings and clicked on, this is in 11, clicked on lock screen, and
Mhm.
it doesn't tell me how to generate a lock screen or create a lock screen.
Well, it's not going to show you how to create a lock screen. Do you have a lock in order to get into your phone?
No,
Oh, well, then you won't be able to set up a lock screen.
Well-
So if you want to set up a lock screen, then you need to have a passcode.
I thought that was part of lock screen, was to unlock it with a passcode.
That is. So if you want to set up your lock screen with text or anything like that, as you can see here on the screen here, this is Windows or Android 12. If you go to lock screen, you can actually add text on the lock screen. You can also set what sort of information people see when it's locked. But if you don't have a passcode, then you won't have any of these things. And in order to set them up, you need to set up a PIN or a lock.
Okay, where do I set that up? In
Okay,
settings?
go to settings
Yeah,
and then go to I think it's going to be safety. Let's see.
how about biometrics and security?
Biometrics and security. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Okay. And then from there, I think you'll have something where you set up a passcode.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions?
I would just comment that Chris put a good comment in the chat as to why you want a lock screen. So if Will is still in doubt, he might want to read that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay.
In all of this, I generally couldn't find many of the things you were talking about. I did end up with account about device.
Okay.
When I got onto that, I did find something that said Android version 6.0.1.
Okay.
Is that a really old version? Is that right?
It is a really old version. Yes.
Is it something I should be updating?
Do you use your phone a lot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, if it's that old, it's probably not updating for privacy and security. So you might be opening yourself up for malware. So if it were possible, I would recommend upgrading to a newer phone because that's a pretty old phone.
Right.
Okay.
But that being said, if all you use your phone for is calling people and taking pictures, it's not that bad. But once you start going into password sites and things like that, you don't want anyone being able to intercept your data.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Was everyone able to at least find how to put a message on your lock screen? Okay. And again, it's not something that's really important, but if you want to do it, that you now see that the option is there. Now, the third option, the third thing we're going to talk about is something that is very useful. So the iPhones have Find My, and so you can find your phone, your device, you can find people. Google also has it, Find My Device. And any of your Android devices that are under your Google email will be able to be found there. So if you have multiple Android devices, you can find it on there. The first thing you need to do is enable it. So you need to go to, and everybody try this, and I know we're going to have to maybe revise the instructions, but on 12, on the version 12, you would go to, let me see, let me get back here. Okay. On the version 12, you would go to settings. And you would go to security. So that's about about halfway down there, security. And by the way, security is also on this one where you can set your screen lock and you could do your face unlock. All those things on version 12 are found under security. So if you haven't set a PIN code yet in your version 12, that's under security. It even tells you under security if you have an update. So on this phone, I actually have an update that needs to be done. So this is a good place to know how to get to. So security. And the second thing down there is find my device. And so if you tap on find my device, you'll see the screen that's showing on you on the computer here, and that's enabled. All right, so if I tap on, if I want to use find my device, it's not going to do much good if I've lost my Android phone, is it? Not going to do much good because I don't have it with me. So I have to be able to find my phone from another device. So what you can do is you can actually go on to any computer and go to open up a web browser and then type in google.com/Android. Or you can also go to myaccount.google.com. And once you do that, you'll be able to see where your phone is. So what we have on this screen is a picture of that device being located. And you can see that when it's located, it actually can give you an address. You can click on the address and you can get directions to where it's located. But if somebody has stolen your phone, I would not use this method to go find it and track it down and accuse them of stealing my phone. I would not do that. But if you left it somewhere, you'd be able to see it. And then you can call the restaurant and say, oh, I think I've left my phone there. And you can actually, from this site, you can actually lock your phone so that they need to have a special passcode, or you can erase your data. If someone has stolen it, you can just erase your data from the web. So this is an important one to know. Okay, let's see. Is everyone?
Where do you find my device?
Okay, which version do you have?
11.
11. So that would be probably under, let's see, some sort of safety. Let's see, security. Let me see if I can find security on here. Digital well-being. I don't think it's that one. No, security.
Biometrics and security?
It might be under that. Yes.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. There you go. Find my mobile. So
And
you can tap on that and make sure that that is enabled. And this screen looks a little bit different than the one we're looking at on the computer, but nevertheless, this is still the same information. Make sure that the location services are on, because if you lose it, you want to be able to know where it is. I notice that mine also has remote unlock. So I can store my PIN code on the Samsung cloud. This is a Samsung phone. And then I would be able to unlock my phone from the website instead of actually trying to remember the passcode. I've never used that, but I just want to say I noticed that as one of my settings. But if you have a 9, 10, or 11, it would be under biometrics and security, and then it would be under find my mobile. Everybody successful with that? You definitely want to play with that later. You want to make sure you can do it. Go onto a web browser and see if you can find your phone.
And one thing to notice, if you have several different devices attached to your Google account, you can select which device you're looking for. Because I've got 2 phones and a Google tablet, and they all show up there.
Yes, yes. So it's nice to be able to know where they all are, and you can find them, remotely lock them, and that kind of thing. All right, thank you. Very good. Let's move to the next one, which is taking a screenshot. Fortunately, I think this is kind of the same on everyone's phone, so it shouldn't be too bad. So what you want to do is you want to find a picture that you want to capture. So it's something that you're looking at on your phone. And then in order to take a picture, you press the power button. That's the one that you use to turn it on or off. And you press the volume down button. Okay, so now the illustration here has a volume on the left. On my particular device, I've got them on the right. On one of my devices, the power button's on the top and the volume button is below it. The volume button will be a longer button than the start button. So putting your finger at the lower part of the volume button and then pressing power at the same time, that will create a picture. And then if you tap on the picture, you can edit it, you could share it with people, and you could send it. Do you want me to demonstrate? Or are we all able to do that? Does anybody need that demonstrated?
No, I think that's pretty clear.
Okay, all right. Good thing to know though, screenshot. Okay, next one, Chrome settings. So Chrome is the default web browser. Now granted, if you have an Android device, you may have some sort of a web browser that's called internet or something. And that's okay. But if you want to use the Chrome app, there's certain advantages to that. And one of the advantages is that if you're doing something on your computer and you're in Chrome and you're signed in with your Google address and everything, you're syncing, then whatever you do on your computer will be on the Chrome cloud. So you could open up your Chrome browser on your device and see everything that you've done. So that's one of the advantages of it if you do a lot of things on Chrome. You can also designate a home page. So when you open up Chrome, what does it open up into? Does it open up onto just a generic page? Does it open up on your email? Does it open up on the senior computer group page? You can actually set it to open to that page if that's what you would like to do. Also in the settings, you can see what you are allowing and not allowing while in Chrome. We'll look at that. Downloads, where are you storing your downloads? Boy, this is a question that people ask. So when you go to download something on your phone, where does it go? In Chrome settings, you can actually determine where it goes. Does it go into a download folder? Does it go on your desktop? You decide. And then you can also modify the accessibility. So I'm going to share my screen and show this with you. So let me do this and let's see, stop sharing. What are we seeing now? Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, and let me show here. Okay, and we are going to look at Chrome. So what you want to do is you want to open up the Chrome browser. Now, let me show you something here as I tap on my Google folder. If you have an Android, you probably have a folder set up. And within that folder, you might have two different things that look like Chrome. One of them actually says Chrome. That's the circle. That's the web browser. Some people mistake the G for Chrome. The G is the search engine. Yes, you can use the G to find things on the web. You can type in a search term and find some options. You can even access a site on the web if you know the address. But Chrome is what we're going to be playing with. Chrome is a web browser that has lots of different possibilities. So we're going to tap on Chrome right now. And
I don't have Chrome.
If you don't have Chrome, the first thing you might want to do is you might want to look and see if Chrome is somewhere on your device. When I got both of my phones, they came with a Google folder. And in the Google folder, they actually had the Google folder set up. And it's there. If you can't find it, the quickest way to find it if it's installed is go to the search bar at the very top of the screen and type in Chrome. Let's see.
Man, I don't think it's here anywhere.
Well, you might have to download it then. Okay, so I'm going to go to Chrome. And once I do, it should actually give me the app. So if I don't have it, I can click here to install it. or I can see here. So you want to make sure you've got it installed. So if you get here and you don't see it, you would click on install. And then it will open up in the Play Store, and you will get the most current version of Chrome. And you can see here, if it says open, you already have it installed. If it says get, then you would tap on that to install it. But I'm going to open it now. Was everyone able to find Chrome?
Nope.
No, if you don't have it, you might have to just follow along and maybe consider getting Chrome. If you want, you don't have to. What web browser do you use on your phone if it's not Chrome? What do you use?
No, my problem is I'm trying to search using voice recognition, and I'm getting your voice. It's searching based on what you're saying on my computer.
I hate that. Okay.
Life is busy.
Life is busy. All right. So for most of you are on Chrome now. Okay. So on your Chrome, up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see all of the tabs that are open. Now, what is interesting about these tabs that are open is some of them are on my computer, some of them are on my iPad in the kitchen. So all of them, if I'm using Chrome and I'm signed in, I would see everything that's open. But I am going to go to settings. And the way to get to settings is at the very top of the screen, you could see 3 dots on the same line as new tab. If you tap on those 3 dots, you will then see settings. You could also see new tab or new incognito tab. If you don't want anyone to follow what you're looking for, that's what you would use. But let's go to settings. And when we go to settings, we get this screen, and there's different things that we want to look at. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure, if we want to be able to use this on our phone and on our computer, we want to make sure that sync is on. Okay, so if it says off, you would tap on that and you would turn it on. Now you could also say, I don't want to sync everything in Google Chrome. I just want to sync my bookmarks and my passwords, and maybe that's all. So you can always change what you're syncing. But if you want to sync everything, just enable that and everything is synced. You can also, if you don't like this whole syncing thing, at the bottom it gives you an option to sign out and turn off sync, and you can do that. Again, syncing is not for everyone, but it's for you if you use your Chrome browser on multiple devices and you want to see what you're doing on the other devices. That's where it works. Okay, now you can see the search engine is next. So if you don't want Google as a search engine, you can tap on that and you can select something else as a search engine. Okay, going back. I'm not going to get into a lot of these different things, but I am going to go to home page under advanced. So this is what page pops up when I open up Chrome. So I'm going to tap on home page. And right now I've got 2 choices. It'll either open up on Chrome's home page or it'll open up on my school course website. So I've enabled that school course website. When I open up Chrome for the first time, it will automatically open up in my school course website. And this will be true across the board on all my Chromes, because this is being, as long as my settings are being synced, down here at the bottom, then whatever I do on this phone will be true for all of my devices. Okay, now if you don't want to have my course website on there, you would just click on that empty spot and you would put in any website you want. So let's see, Senior Computer Group SD, is it SCG SD?
Yes, scgsd.org.
.org. And I've got something else for you later on. I think you'll like that. I've got a code for you, but done. So now that means that when I open up my Chrome, it's going to open up on this page instead. And you don't have to put in the HTTP. Once it connects, it will remember that, I think. If not, then just go and put the HTTP in. But usually you can just get to a site by putting in those numbers. So then we'll go back. Let me see if there's a couple of other things. Site settings. So if you go to site settings, which is also under advanced, you can see what's being allowed and what isn't being allowed. So my Chrome is locking my camera and my microphone. So if I ever wanted to use that camera while in Chrome, I'd have to go to site settings and I'd have to enable that. It's enabling cookies. If you don't want to save cookies, you could turn them off. You can tap on cookies and then you can say, so right now I'm blocking third-party cookies in incognito. You can also just say, I want to block all third-party cookies. But once you start blocking these cookies, you're not going to be able to get to all your sites. So you just keep that in mind. But you can add an exemption. So if I do have a site that I do want to allow cookies for, that's a third-party site, I can put the URL in there. What are cookies? Cookies are data files, and those are created by different websites that we visit. And so when we open up a website, if we have saved cookies in there, then the website will be able to open more quickly, and it will know our type of device. It will know what we prefer, what we've been looking at. They may also have some content like ads or images, and they may start popping them up because they know that that's what you've searched for. So if you don't like that, you can block them. Now I like the incognito one because if I choose to go to a third-party site, then I will be able to receive those cookies. But if the sites are not up to par and they're not what they're pretending to be, then I certainly don't want to add cookies there. Okay, Will, question?
I run Chrome on my desktop also, and I have sync turned on. But I noticed that when I open up my home page settings for my cell phone, it doesn't seem to sync.
Did you tap on this?
I open my email automatically when I go on my desktop and go to Chrome, but the home page on my cell phone now says Chrome homepage. Oh, maybe that will automatically open to whatever Chrome's homepage is. Okay, that may answer it.
But did you go to settings, tap on the three dots to go to settings and then go to settings there?
Right.
Okay. And if sync says off, if you wanted to sync, you would turn it on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and then a couple more downloads. Okay, where are the downloads going? And it looks like they're going to my download folder, which is in my storage. But I have ask where to save files on, because that way, each time I download something, I can say, okay, I want that to go to my files. I want that to go to my photos. You can actually set it that way. If it's not enabled, then it's just automatically going to go to download, storage, emulated, and download. And I think you will find that in your files folder. Okay, questions? Nobody's going to ask where your files folder is? Do you know where your files folder is?
Tell us.
Okay, I'm going to go back to my home screen. I'm going to, since I'm not sure where, let me see. I'm going to go to all apps, and then I'm going to look for my files. And so, whoops, my phone is being tricky here. So this, all apps, my files. Okay, then in my files, I can see things. I bet you didn't know this, that you had this, but your my files is where you're going to find things. And so if I tap on downloads, I can see everything that I have downloaded on this device. Okay, I can select something and oops, let me go back. can select something and I can click on the three dots and I can click on edit. And then I can delete some of these things because you don't need to save everything because you've probably done things with these in other places. So once I select these things, I now come down to the bottom of the screen and I delete. Okay, and then they're gone. So that's the download folder, and that's found under My Files. And notice you've got other files as well. You've got audio files, documents, images, and you also have installation files. This
Where
phone-
were you when you typed My Files?
Oh, I actually went to all apps. Now, on this phone, I've enabled all apps to be its own little icon. So on the bottom right, you can see a gray box with 9 squares. If I tap on that, I'm going to get to all apps. If you haven't set it up, you can also slide up from the bottom, just slide up from the bottom and you'll get to all apps. So you can either tap on an icon if you've created it, or you could swipe up from the bottom and get to all your apps that way. And by the way, I want to remind you, we're just covering a few things, but in our class, in that Android class, we sort of take it from the beginning. So these things that are a little confusing might make more sense if you saw the whole picture. But nevertheless, this is where it's found, My Files. Yours may just say Files. It may be something different. So on my Pixel, I've got, there we go. I've got Files. It doesn't say My Files, it just says Files. Stan?
Yeah, just to be clear, since these settings in Chrome are synced between my phone and my computer, I can do all of these changing of where the download file is, for instance, on my Chrome on my computer.
Not really, because what we're looking at now, when we get to files, this is actually unique to your device. So we're out of, we left Chrome because somebody had a question on where the downloads go. So we left the Chrome app and we went to all apps to find out where they go. So this is unique to your device. So whatever you set up in there, so what you did was you actually went to Chrome and you told Chrome that you wanted to go to the downloads folder, but I believe that that would be different from your computer because it would be a different place. So let me go back to downloads. And I believe in this case, it would be unique to your device, but doing ask where to save files is really a good idea because that kind of reminds you, you've just downloaded something and you have to know where it's going to be saved.
Okay, I guess my reaction is I'm really not going to do much web browsing on Chrome on my phone.
Okay.
Just because it's so crazy to do it.
Yeah.
And so I have a folder under documents called downloads, and that is my default place to put downloads on when I'm working on my computer with Chrome.
Oh, okay.
And-
So within Chrome, you have created a folder. Right?
No, on my computer, I've created a folder for downloads.
Okay.
And whenever I download a file, it goes to that whenever I want to download something through Chrome, it goes to the download folder automatically unless I overwrite it.
Okay.
That's when I'm on the computer.
Right.
Now, would that still be true when I'm on the phone using Chrome?
No. I think on the phone, you could set up your own place on where you're going to download them because they're different devices.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. I'm
Good.
just not going to use Chrome on my phone.
Yeah, well, you don't, a lot of people don't really need it, so. All right, so and then the last thing I wanted to show you in settings, we did the downloads, we did the site settings, scroll. The last thing is accessibility. And that's again under advanced. I'm not going to tell you what each of these are. I just want you to say that this has some excellent accessibility features. You can play with them. Maybe the easiest thing is you can increase the text size. That helps. You can force enable zoom, override a website's request to prevent zooming in. So if you like to zoom in, and this will be done with your accessibility feature on your phone. So if you have your accessibility feature on your phone and you try to zoom into a website, if the website is not allowing it, you can override that and you could be able to zoom it in. To be honest, I don't use this, but this is under accessibility. And then also the simplified view for web pages. That's really good actually, because if you are looking at a website from your phone, it could have a lot of ads and everything, and it could have a lot of pictures and take up a lot of space. If you get the simplified view and you click on that, you'll just get what you need to see. So that's not a bad thing to have. And then for captions, you could tap on captions and you can say what sort of captions you want, if you want them on, and the text size. Realize that you won't get captions for everything. It depends on the website, but for those that have captions, you'd be able to see them. So you would just turn that on, and then the captions will look like that on there. White on black, you could switch that, and you could go yellow on blue if you want. So that would look like that. Anything you want there. And then we turn it, I'm going to turn it off again. All right, any questions on settings for Chrome? Okay, I know we're running a little late. Do you want me to continue or do you want to end here?
I'd like to be sure you get to the one that talks about all the things that are at the top of your screen on your phone.
Okay, all right, we'll just keep going. If you need to leave, that's fine. I know it's being recorded, so you can look at the recording later.
Okay,
so-
Mary.
yes.
I have just a quick question.
Mhm.
You mentioned at the beginning that you're starting your Android. I have it on my calendar as Wednesday.
Yes, that's our Zoom session. Yes, the class officially, because it's an online class, it officially begins on Monday. I'm just now getting the emails ready to send out. So you'll get an email today about the class, and you could go on early and see what's going on in the class, but it will be Wednesday at noon.
Noon, okay.
That we'll have our first session.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, what is Monday?
Monday, that's just when the class, officially begins. All online classes begin on the Monday of that week, and they end on the Saturday of that week.
Okay, so we don't connect on Monday.
No, you don't connect on Monday. Okay, so we've got the Chrome, and let's keep going to the next one.
Could you go back to your original list? Is that easy so we can see what we haven't done yet?
Okay. I
Just
think
for a
number
minute.
9 is wrong. I think that's a different one. But smart lock your phone. I would say let's skip that, because all that really does is make it unlock when you're at your home. And you can go back and look at it if you want. The status bar is what you're interested in. So we'll do that. Saving a website to your home screen, what that means is that you could open up your web browser, go to any site, and create a shortcut. And this would again be within Chrome. And then the shortcut appears as an icon on your screen. So you might be interested in that. I can't remember what number 9 is. It's not going to be using the USB. And then the 10 is create a QR code. So what do you say we skip the smart lock and just go 7 on and we should be able to blast through it. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that status bar does get a little bit confusing. All right, so the status bar is what's showing up at the very top of your screen. Now you can see here at the very top of this screen, this is what was showing up on my phone when I took this picture. So what you want to know is the things on the left are notification icons. So things that are happening right now and by the way, the whole status bar is what's going on right now. So at this point, the notifications, it looks like there's 2 calendar notifications going on. There's also maybe one having to do with Google Home, maybe having to do with my Wi-Fi, and then Google Drive. Now down here under notification icons, there's several more, but they're not really represented up here. So you kind of have to know, you kind of have to be able to see what the notification is and then try to figure out what they mean. Now, how do you do
How
that?
did you get this screen that you're showing us?
I did a screenshot in the top at the this spot above this bar here. This bar is what I had on my phone when I took a picture. So that meant that it was at 10:33 and I had 2 calendar notifications that I hadn't cleared yet. I had some sort of a home one that I hadn't cleared yet, and I have a drive one. How do you see those notifications? You take your finger at the very top of the screen and slide it down. And when I slide it down on mine, the home icon means that I'm using my home network. So this has to do, and it's a Google Nest device. So that's what that means. It means I'm using that home. Now you may not have the same ones. This is what I'm using. The next one is telling me that someone has shared a file with me on Google Drive. So these are on my notifications now. I can see it when I swipe down. And once I clear it, then those notifications will be gone. So when you have, and I'm gonna show this to you. Okay, so let's go here and show this to you because this is helpful. Okay. Let me see, and that, and that, and I just need the number again. What's the meeting passcode? You know, let's see.
It's 074945.
074945. Thank you. I'm just trying to get the zoom up on this phone, okay, without video. And okay, got it. All right, so let's go, let's share. Gotta stop sharing. Okay, and let's share. So we're talking about notifications now. The problem is I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see my notifications. You can see on the screen here, you can see the very top of the screen. Okay, it says 12:03. It's got a home, it's got a Google thing, and then it's got another thing. I'm not quite sure what it is. So in order to see what my notifications are, I just drag down from the top. And the notifications are what are showing up here. And then the ones on the top are quick settings, which we're not going to cover today. So here's the notifications. And if you don't know what a little diagram means, you'll now know. So the home is referring to your Wi-Fi. The Google Drive thing is referring to the drive that is the file that's being shared with me. And then silently, Zoom is displaying over other apps. So if I want to get rid of all these things, I can just go clear all. And then let's see, clear all. There we go. All right. And now you can see that my phone no longer has any notifications. All right. It just says a time. Now on the right, I'm not on that initial screen, but on the right, this is my status. So my status is telling me that the first one has to do with casting. If you've ever heard of casting, you can actually cast a picture of your device to a TV or to another device. So right now it's red and means that I'm casting my phone. And right now the phone is being cast to Zoom. So that's what that means. Next to that is an upside down triangle. That means that I am also connecting to Wi-Fi. And then the third one has to do with the battery. So these are just things that are going on right now with my phone. That's the key here to the status bar, is what's going on right now. All right, so if you look at some of those options, that were on the screen, and I'm going to return to that screen. If you look at some of the options, they're not all being enabled there. Let's see, stop sharing, and let me share that. And you can see that there's lots that are not showing up, but whatever you're doing on your phone, that's going to explain what's showing up. So, you know, missed calls, calls in progress, downloading, uploading, Wi-Fi, apps, all those things mean something. All right, any questions on the status bar? Okay, the next one is going to put your app on your screen. So this might be helpful to you. Then you'd be able to open up your phone and just click on an icon down here, very the bottom right where it says senior. I created that. So then I can get straight to your website just by clicking on that. How did I do it? Well, you open up Chrome again. So open up Chrome, and then while you're within Chrome, you go to a website. So you would tap in SD, let me get it here, sdgsd.org.
SCG. SD, yeah.
SCGSD.org. And then you hit go, and it will take you to the website. That's what we're seeing here. And actually, the very first thing I see is this message. It says add senior computer group to home screen. I can click on that, but let's say I miss that because it's not going to stay up forever. So if I miss that, then I have to choose another way to put it on my home screen. Okay, so the other way to do it is you click on the three dots that we did earlier to get to settings. So you click on the three dots and you will see then install app. So if you tap on install app, you will see this window and it says a senior computer group, and you would click install. And then the next one that you see will be, well, I think I already have it, so that's why it didn't pop up, but it should then pop up as a, well, it didn't. Let's see, let me go back and see why it didn't pop. It did on my other device. Okay, so there we go. And senior computer group. Oh, I know what happened. It had to go through my security. So now when I go to the home button, I should be able to see my senior computer group. And I think there's one more step that it's asking me to take, and I don't know what that is. Let's see. So do it one more time. Open. Oh, so in this case, it didn't give me a little home page. I just click on the three square on the updates on the settings, and I can see open senior computer group. So this phone did not create the little icon like my other phone did, but my other phone created an icon and it looked like this Chrome, and then it created the icon. Now you can do this with any web page. On some web pages, it may not be an app, it may just be like say for example, you wanted to do CNN. Okay, so you open up the Chrome browser and you just type in CNN.com. And you could do this along with me if you'd like. And then go. And then if you want to put that on your screen, let's wait till it's connected. We're going to click on the three dots, and there we have a different thing. So your senior computer group, you guys have jumped through an extra square. You're going to have to tell me how you did that. So you are actually able to install an app. On another group, if you've got CNN.com open and you've pressed on those three dots, you can see add to home screen. And that's going to be the same thing. So you would select add to home screen. And on the next screen that comes up, you would have to specify the name of that site. And it's coming up as CNN. So I like that. And then I click add. and then it's saying, are you sure you want to add it? So I'll click add, and then it pops up. Do you need to see that, or can you practice that on your own?
Practice.
Okay, you practice on your own. Email me if you get stuck. Maybe you don't want an app on your phone or a picture on your phone, but it sure is, we call them shortcuts. It's sure nice to have a shortcut to something. And you can see all these other things are shortcuts as well. All right, I remember what number 9 was, and that was taking a video and sharing it to YouTube. Do you want me to do this, or you want to just see the instructions? How many of you have been able to put a video on YouTube? Anyone?
I have 120 of them.
Then you don't need any help. And okay, the rest of you okay? Or let me just, I'll just show you the pictures on the page. So here's how you would do it. You would open up, first of all, you'd open up your camera and you create a video. So any length, short, long, of course they put limits on them usually, but any video. And then you would go to share that video. And when you share it, you would click all apps and you would see the YouTube app. So you click on YouTube. It's going to open up on your YouTube channel, because all of us have a YouTube channel because we have a Google account. So we all have a channel. So if you click on that, it's going to get to the channel and it's going to show you this next screen. And you can add details. You can now see the video. I've named it Toby Cruising. I've also given it a description, short video of Toby. I've set the visibility. I like to use unlisted because I don't want people to be able to search for Toby and see pictures of Toby. If I want to make it public, I will. If you're unlisted, all someone needs is the address to the Zoom link, and then they'd be able to see it. So that's usually enough for me, but you can make it public. If you make it private, nobody can see it unless you actually give them explicit instruction. Do you want to set a location? You can do that. And do you want to add this to any of your playlists? These are all things that have to do with YouTube. Now you will get a notice as you're doing this to select the audience. And basically this is made so that if it's made for kids, it's not supposed to have anything objectionable in it. Not that it's okay to put objectionable things in your videos, but is there an age restriction? And then the last thing you see is the video uploading. And then when it's done, it'll say upload your videos, and you can click on the video. If you need to give someone the link, you can see here by clicking on that, you get the link and you can forward it to them. So it's not that difficult. It's nice to do. So if you're interested, go ahead, question. Okay. And let's go to the last one.
Amazon account. If you do not authorize this order, press 1 forward. Press 2 to authorize this order. Saturday.
Patricia?
There we go.
Is it Patricia?
It was.
All right, last one. Do you all know how to use your QR code? I'm going to guess you do, because since we began with the pandemic, a lot of restaurants have a QR code that you will scan to see the menu. So I think many of us are familiar with QR codes. Now, if you would like to access the San Diego Computer Group via a QR code, it's either on your camera, or you may have to download an app called QR Code Reader. Or the other option is to open up the Google, not the Chrome, but the Google account. That's the G. And when you do, you will see a little, when you tap on that, you will see a little picture of a camera, and that is the same as scanning. Does everybody know how to do this? Okay, so what I'm demonstrating in this screen is that I was able to, using a browser called Brave, you can actually generate QR codes for web pages. So this QR code pictured is a one to the senior computer group. So if you line your camera up to that and you take a picture of it or just scan it, you're actually just going to scan it. Okay, so let me get this up here. And you want to make sure you tap on that picture. Okay, let's see. Google. Okay, and then tap on the little camera and it should open up. Search with your camera and tap there. And then line up the QR code. And then tap on the shutter button. And if it's set up correctly, it will pop up with the name of the senior computer group. And if you tap on that, you will actually get to that website. Down there it says website. And since you are an app, it will either open with the app or open with Chrome. Was everybody able to scan the QR code?
No.
No. Okay, so did you open up your camera? Let's try that first. And when you put your camera up to it, did it recognize that code? So when you put your camera up to it and you line up to the QR code, does it give you a web address? Now on mine, it does not. It does not. So what
I was able to take a picture of it, but
no, that won't work.
But
That won't
nothing
work.
happened.
You actually have to do it without taking a picture.
oh, you have to have your camera on, but just pointed at it.
If your version of Android is set up to automatically point to QR codes, then it will automatically load up. Otherwise, you will have to open up a different app. Let me briefly show you how that's done. So I'm going to.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Yes, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share here. And I'm going to do the screen. Okay, so what I'm going to try to demonstrate is how to do this if your camera app does not automatically scan and provide you with the website. At the very top of my screen is a Google search bar, and you can see the G. That means it's a Google search bar. You can see a microphone. That's where I can type in directions or speak directions. And then you see a camera. That's Google Lens. So if you tap on that, it will open up in Google Lens. And then you see it says search with your camera. So I'm going to tap on search with your camera. And then I'm going to line up to that site and I'm going to tap on the shutter button. And once I do, it's looking for results and you can see it pops up right there. And I can go to the website and it will take me to the senior computer group. Now, when I do this, since yours is an app, I can either open it in the app or I can open it in Chrome. But when I go to Chrome, I'm going to be able to get to it because I scanned that QR code.
Could you put the QR code back up so we can try again? I found my QR scanner.
Okay.
Android.
All right, so let me do this. So I'm going to stop sharing. And let's share. Okay, and then try it again and just see if it works for you.
There we go. Come here. QR code. There we go. Now let's see what happens. Yep.
Excellent.
It came up to https://scgsd.org.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, now I've got one more QR code since you've got everything up and going. If you are interested in taking a class through the San Diego Community College District, I think this link will take you to our student site. And our student site will provide you with the fall schedule, registration tutorials, and more. So see if you can,
Yeah. Google.com, SDCEonline.com, et cetera, et cetera.
yes, yes. You can get to that more directly by typing in SDCEstudent55.com, but that's the same site. So there you go. That's information. If you want to take any classes, keep that handy. And then,
Classes, it gave me the URL, but it didn't take
oh,
me.
you have to tap on where it says website. So once it gives you the URL, you have to tap on it in order to get to it.
I'm tapping, it's not tappable.
Okay, it should be. Let me just check mine. Okay, so search with the camera. Okay, tap the button. Okay, a sec. Okay, and I see on mine, it says there might be two things showing up for you. The website is showing up in blue right on top of the icon, or underneath below it says website, and then it has the address sites.google.com SDCE. So if I tap the website, I'm able to get there. Did that work for you?
I'm tapping go to. There,
Okay.
It's working.
Excellent. Okay, and I have one more for you. Maybe you want to see this presentation again. Here's your last one that you can do, and I want to see if it works for you, because I had to jump through a couple of hoops to get it, but line that last one up.
And it's on your Google Drive somewhere.
Yes, it is. Are you able to open it?
Whoops. Here we go.
10 things you can do with your Android. I get it. Yes, 17 pages.
Yes, because it's my presentation, so it's 17 pages.
Yeah, and if I tap go to, open with Samsung Internet or open with Drive.
Try them both. If you open it with Drive, then you'll be able to put it on your drive. If you open it with Samsung Internet, it will probably go to your download folder.
Well, let's see. Opening in Google Drive, 10 things you can do with your Android.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
Document.
Okay. And lastly, you'll notice I have an email address here. So if you have any questions, you can email me. My email address is maryburns@sdceonline.com.
Gotcha.
All right. And that sums us up. So I'm going to stop sharing, and you might want to stop the recording if you want. And
It stops automatically when I shut down. I have a question.
Okay.
About 2 lines back, you said, how did you do that? You got to tell me how you do that. What is it that we did?
Let's see.
Hank, I think it might have been the information on what the different icons represent on the status bar.
I don't think so.
Okay, never mind.
So I think it was something we did on our website, and since I'm the webmaster.
Oh, I know what it is. You have a unique thing on your site. When I go to the Google settings, it says install app. For other websites, it says add to home screen. So somehow, Hank, you have the app. You know that, don't you? Or did you know that? You have a senior computer group app. And so what yours did was it actually made a standalone app. The other method is a shortcut to your web browser that will open up in your site.
I don't know what our app is.
Yeah.
It's
Mary, I think it may be a version thing. My older version said make a shortcut. The newer one says install the app.
Okay.
I think the install the app, if it's a website, it's a shortcut to the website.
Okay, so it's the same thing. It just is a different way. Maybe adding to home screen was confusing to people.
So Will has his hand up,
Will,
virtual hand.
you're on mute.
He's trying. Yeah.
There we go. How do I get the notifications?
Take your finger at the very top and slide it down. Did it work?
Okay. I got more than I want to know about.
You can clear them all if you want, or you can clear them one by sliding them off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Fran?
I know it's late, but like Chrome, when I go to Google Play, it says open, but I cannot find Chrome as an icon anywhere on my phone.
Oh, well, do you know how to get to all apps?
I guess not.
Okay, so take your finger, it depends on the phone, but usually it involves on this Samsung.
Oh yeah, I see it there now. So
Okay.
how do I get that to show up on the home screen?
Well, I'll tell you how to get that to show up. So you press down on it.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you press down long enough, it's going to actually bring you to the home screen, and you could just drag it right where you want it, and it will be there.
Okay, that's nice.
So that's what you do from all apps.
It says just is giving me incognito or new tab.
Right. Well, if you keep holding it down, if you press and hold on
Got it. Thank you.
Did you? Okay. And remember,
Thank
we
you.
are teaching this class, and we kind of took the back door into a lot of these things. But if you take the whole class, you'll sort of get the tour.
Is that in person or can it be virtual?
No, it's all online. It's all online. So you have to register by Monday because the class begins then.
And is it only through the San Diego Library or is it?
San Diego Community College District.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
so
talk to
it's
Kat.
kind of a, Will tell you, it's kind of a challenge to sign up for classes with us.
Okay.
But once
Well-
and Pat will tell you too, but once you sign up, it's kind of nice to have.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Okay, good luck. All right, anyone else? Questions or comments?
Mary,
Yes?
who else asked? They can go first.
Yeah,
I think
Mary,
Dave-
I just wanted to say I put the link to the AirDroid program in the chat for you.
Okay. Oh, yes, thank you very much. Okay, I've got that. Thank
That's
you.
exactly what I was going to say, David.
Excellent. I am going to put that on. That's going to help me with my teaching quite a bit. So, yeah, I'm actually going to be out of town for one of my classes. So I've been sort of thinking, how am I going to do this? So this is going to be a great help. I really appreciate that, David. Thank you.
And if you have questions, then we'll work things out together.
Oh, I appreciate it. Are you taking the class?
Yeah, I signed up for it.
Oh, wonderful.
So
Because, Android's not my strong point. I've been teaching it for quite a while, but it's not my, Apple is, I have more.
The thing that I found with Android is there's so many versions of the operating system itself, and then there's different placement and different specializations for every phone vendor.
Yes, and I bring that up during the class. And as we saw today, even if you have the same operating system, your phone may not look the same as somebody else. So it's very frustrating, but it's got its advantages. Will, did you have something else?
Yeah. Before we close down, we've got a couple of people on here that we haven't had before, and I wanted to welcome them. Chris, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, Chris.
Chris who?
I don't know. That's the
It just says
problem. It
Chris.
just says Chris.
Chris, would you tell us the rest of your who?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
No.
Chris sent a text. Chris, no thanks or something? No, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, a couple of others. There's a Pixel 4 XL, and I don't know.
That's my Pixel.
That's
phone.
yours. Okay. And I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
All right.
And
And Mary,
Mary,
you
that
should
was a
know
great
that
presentation.
Thank you.
Mary, you should know that you have set a record. We normally are done by about noon, and it's now noon.
And I think
I
Mary,
apologize.
Mary also has the record for being 3 times in the same thing, because I see Mary Burns and a pixel.
Yep. So part of our big numbers are me.
So Mary, when you begin to use the AirDroid app, you won't need to do that because you can have them all on your computer screen and just share them as individual windows.
Okay, so Saul, if I have it on both of my Androids, can I show them at the same time?
I defer to David.
David?
I've shared them only one at a time. However, they do have the, a pro version that you actually pay the money for that allows you to do more things. I'm not sure. I thought it was good enough to get one thing on the screen that I could actually work on.
Well, anything to eliminate some of these tech challenges that we have during class would be nice.
Also, I wanted to welcome Derek Stats. We haven't seen you before, Derek. How did you find us?
You're on mute.
You got to press your space bar, Derek, so before we can hear you. Go.
I'm in Walkabout, and Stan sent the message.
Oh, great. Yeah, we get several people from Walkabout. Well, welcome and return.
Thank you.
Return all the times you want to.
Oh, well, we're here to help with questions on things. And so we didn't get to it today, but we have did anyone have a problem part of the session? So come on back if you have some more questions.
Thank you.
I don't think I want to transition into a full Q&A. Does anybody have a question that is burning them because they can't run their computer until they get an answer or something? I don't see a hand. Okay, then I think I will say once again, Mary, many, many thanks for coming and spending so much of your day with us.
It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
And Hank, before you leave, just a reminder that next Saturday will be the board meeting for this group, followed by a Q&A.
Yes, and Stan will probably have the agenda out midweek.
And people are welcome to come to the board meeting.
Yeah, anyone is welcome to come to the board meeting. You just can't participate until the board meeting is over, and then, but you can certainly observe. And then we'll have a regular Q&A session after the board. All right, we're down to 20 participants.
All right, all my personalities have left, so.
I'll bid
All right,
I'll bid you all aloha, except I'm not in Hawaii right now. Bye-bye.
Well, until next week then. Bye-bye. And I'll
Bye-bye.
see you later in the week, Mary.
All right, sounds good. Yep, thank you.